Assalamualaikum, welcome back to my channel. Today, since you guys seem to like my discussion videos and want to know a lot about marriage, I'm going to be doing a video on something that has a lot to do with marriage, and that is finding Mr. Right. So these are my tips for finding a good Muslim man to get married to, hopefully, for the rest of your life. Oh, if I'm looking down, it's because I wrote notes for this video in my phone. When it comes to actually finding this guy that you want to marry, or that you will hopefully want to marry, my advice is definitely to ask around. Ask people to look for you in different places. If you're open to moving to other places, ask people in other states that you know to ask around. Like, really get word out there, like, I want to get married, I'm trying to find somebody. Because I kind of feel like if you limit it to just your parents, you know, it might be a lot of people you grew up around, and a lot of the time people aren't as fond of marrying someone that they've grown up around and really probably sometimes find annoying. So you don't want just your parents looking, you might want other family members or friends. Just be open to asking people to keep an eye out for you, if anything. It's very important, so you don't end up with one choice, of course. Also, when you finally do find someone you're interested in sitting down and talking to, once you get to that stage, you have to remember, do your research. You have to do your research. You cannot just know nothing about this person and then start talking to them. You don't want to start talking to them and then you start catching feelings, because it's very easy, it can happen very easily, and you start catching feelings and then you find out that this person is like a criminal, or you know, or he sleeps around or something crazy like that. You don't want to find that out after you've fallen for this person or after you've decided you want to get married and then be heartbroken. Do your research. You have to remember that. And I had no shame in my game. When my husband wanted to marry me, as soon as I knew, I was like, okay, it's time to ask people about this person. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Getting details about that person, asking people what they know. Don't talk to anybody who's a gossipy, dirty mouthed person, okay? Because you may or may not get the truth. But anyhow, just make sure you ask around. One thing that really made my father like my husband and me like my husband is that everyone who we asked about him, they had almost the same answer as if they were reading from the same book. So basically everybody kind of had the same idea of the kind of person he was from what they had seen over the years. So that to me is a good sign when everyone is kind of saying the same good things about a person, that that person is genuinely a good person. When it comes down to it, I would say while you're on the search to find your, I don't want to say soulmate, but your soulmate, while you're on your search to find your other half, okay, you need to, I'm not saying don't express yourself, but my advice is to stay guarded. Don't be silly and just put everything out there, okay? I wanted to see that my husband wanted me. Like, I wanted to see him put in work. I wanted to see that he really, like, had fallen for me and felt certain things towards me, and that he was willing to put forth the effort for me because I knew I was worth it. One thing, and that's not me being self-absorbed or anything like that. You need to know your worth before you start searching for a man, because if you don't know your worth and you get married to a man, he's gonna realize that real quick, and he's gonna use that to his advantage, whether he's a good person or not, and walk all over you, and you don't need that. So I made a point to keep everything I was feeling kind of behind a veil, you know what I'm saying? If I didn't show him how much I liked him, I showed him enough to let him know that I was interested, but I wouldn't fall all over him while I was with him, you know what I'm saying? When I was out of his presence, I was gushing over him, but, you know, I didn't let him know how much I liked him, because I wanted to make sure it was real, you know what I'm saying? That's some of my advice for you guys. When you're actually sitting down with this guy, what do you need to look for, or when you're around him, what will let you know that he's a good person or someone you want to be with? And let me explain some of my thought process and some things I really think that girls should be aware of when it comes to that guy that you're interested in. Firstly, of course, you should look for piety and good character. Look at the way he treats people, talks to people, you know, talks to elders, how he interacts with people. Does he show respect? Does he feel like he can talk any kind of way to certain people? How does he act with other people, and how does he treat other people, and does he show compassion? Compassion is very important it's very important in a spouse, period. You should definitely try to pay attention to the way he acts when it's time to pray, okay? Because the way someone acts when it's time to pray will tell you a lot about them as a Muslim. The prayer comes in and he's on it, he gets up to go make wudu without anybody mentioning it's even time to pray, you know what I'm saying? If he has a good expression when it's time to pray, if he doesn't act lazy when it's time to pray, if he has some urgency to pray to his creator, then you know it's good, you know? So yeah, pay attention to how he acts when it's time to pray, because a person who acts lazy or acts like they don't want to get up for prayer is not going to be a good person for you, or who's going to help you when you have those moments where you're feeling lazy, you know what I'm saying? Or if you're a person who's trying to improve in their prayer. Also, make sure you concentrate on the way he speaks. Does he constantly remember Allah in his speech? I feel like if, you know, every time you're with that person they do the same things, they can't really fake it. If he always includes insha'Allah, mashallah, alhamdulillah, you know, stuff like that in his speech, and he's constantly remembering Allah, you know, I feel like that's a good sign. Alright, so my battery's dying and I have to hurry up and get through this. I don't want to rush, but I do want to get this video done in one sitting. You should also pay very close attention to the way he acts with his mother. That is very important, because the way he treats the number one woman, or what should be the number one woman in his life at the time before you get married, it says a lot about the way he's going to treat you. If he disrespects his mother, if he's sharp with his tongue towards his mother, more than likely that's the same treatment you're gonna get. Don't think, you know, if he treats his mother and his sisters a certain way, he's gonna change for you or be different for you. If he can talk to his mother, the woman who gave birth to him, in a harsh manner, he's not gonna have a problem talking to a woman that he just married the same way. Okay, you may not see it at first, but it's gonna come out eventually. So pay attention to the way he treats the women in his life, and, you know, your mother and everything like that. I find that a good time to evaluate a man that you are thinking about marrying is before, during, and after Ramadan. Okay, because if you look at him before, you'll see how he is through the rest of the year. You look at him during Ramadan, you'll see how his fear of Allah is more than likely more prominent and more at the front of his brain. And then if you see him after Ramadan, you will know if this is just Ramadan character or if he has, you know, good character all year round. You know what I'm saying? So really, that's a very good time to evaluate a man if you can. I feel like girls really need to learn to focus on their instincts and pay attention to their instincts and not let anyone tell them that what they're feeling doesn't matter. Males particularly were given instincts as a superpower, and we often fail to use our instincts or acknowledge our instincts, and in most cases we ignore our instincts and brush them off and later regret it because we didn't listen to ourselves and how we felt in that moment. As a female, when you're searching for a man who's going to be in your life, insha'Allah, forever, you need to make sure you follow your instincts. You feel good about the direction you're going in. If something doesn't feel right to you, you have to be able to let it go, because if it doesn't feel right, there's more than likely there's a reason why it doesn't feel right to you. And I feel like you don't want to find out later that you should have listened to yourself when you felt the way you felt. Also, if you feel uncomfortable with someone or the situation you're put in or anything like that, pay attention to that as well, because if you're uncomfortable all the time, that's not a good sign. You have to be able to recognize how you feel and evaluate how you feel in certain situations. And if you're uncomfortable with this person all the time and you never fall into that easiness, that comfortable, you know, interaction with this person, you should really pay attention to that, because it's only going to get worse if you're never able to get comfortable with this person. And if someone makes you uncomfortable with the way they speak to you or act when someone's not looking or anything like that, that's another sign that that's not gonna cut it. You know, the way you feel with someone is so important. And I don't mean just like little puppy love feelings. I mean the way you feel when you interact with this person, when they speak with you, when you speak with them. Is it easy for you? Is it difficult? Are they boring? Do you feel like this isn't going to go anywhere? You know, if you feel like it's done and you don't like this person, be sure to do what you need to do and cut it off, move on to the next thing. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? It doesn't matter how far in you are. If it doesn't feel right, you have the right to let that go. I feel like being uncomfortable and being shy are two different things. I don't think they really coincide. Like, maybe if you're first meeting this guy, you may not be comfortable being in the same room with him for too long and everything. You may not be comfortable yet talking to them because you're shy and everything like that, and that's fine. But if a person makes you uncomfortable or you're not able to find ease, that's not good. Being shy is very different from being uncomfortable constantly. There's two more things that I really want to make clear and make sure you ladies hear me out, okay? You are allowed to make demands about what you want in your marriage and what you want, you know, in your contract. You know, this is your right. Allah gave you this right and you need to run with it. Don't feel shy about making clear what's important to you in a marriage and what you expect in a marriage, okay? And if he has a problem with that, skedaddle. You can find someone who appreciates what you want in a marriage and who believes in what you want in a marriage. Don't be afraid to let him know what you want and expect in your marriage. Please don't be afraid, because this is so important. Like, it's so important. I can't stress it enough. you have certain standards for a man, as long as they are not unreasonable, you should be able to stick to those standards. Don't let anyone tell you that you need to let go of what you want or let go of your standards because you're a woman and it's going to be hard to find a man or blah blah blah, because people are always telling girls that they shouldn't have standards, or that they, you know, they're lucky if any man, you know, steps to them for marriage, and they should just take what they can get. Heck no, I don't believe in that at all. You deserve what you want, inshallah, and you will deserve what you get, and you set the bar. Don't let anyone lower that bar. You know, you don't have to be unreasonable and you don't have to be crazy, but you're allowed to want what you want and not let go of that. Don't just search for the best looking guy or the cutest guy or the handsomest guy, because that guy could still be a douchebag with a pretty face, okay? He can still be a bad person, he can still be a bad Muslim. A pretty face is not gonna last, and it's not gonna carry your marriage. I'm sorry. To keep it to you straight, it's not going to help you. So, of course you want to be attracted to the person, but you don't want to be attracted to a person physically at the cost of not being attracted to them spiritually and in other important ways, because looks will only get you so far. And I know you've heard this before, but it's serious. Looks are not everything. And let me tell you something. A lot of people have types, and there's nothing wrong with having a type, you know, your ideal type, what you think you want, or how you picture the person that you're going to marry. There's nothing wrong with that, but what I warn against is being so stubborn in that mindset that you missed out on all these great guys because you want a guy with blonde hair and blue eyes and pale skin, or you want a tall guy and not a short guy, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could, if, okay, when it comes down to it, if I can let go of some of these things to gain things that are better, I would do it, you know what I'm saying? And mashallah, in the beginning, my husband was not my ideal type. He was the complete opposite. And, you know, I wasn't as attracted to him as I felt like I should be, you know what I'm saying? But once you start liking a person, they become like the most wonderful looking person ever, honestly. Like, I honestly feel like they could be ugly, but if you start falling for them, they're gonna turn into the most handsome person ever. And I'm definitely not saying my husband's ugly, but, you know, because that wasn't what I was looking for, or that I thought I wanted, I wasn't as attracted. So, but once you fall in love, like, after we got married and I fell in love, he was everything. Like, everything I thought I wanted, it was just like, whatever. Because he became that ideal type, you know what I'm saying? Because really, truly, he was that ideal type. I just didn't know it because I was slightly blinded by what I thought I needed and wanted. So what you girls should really try to do is, even if you have an ideal type, you should open your mind to other possibilities, because as a female, once you fall in love, that man is going to be everything you ever dreamed of, okay? I'm just saying from experience. You have to keep an open mind and just really look more at action than anything. I'm not saying not to be attracted to the person at all, but if there are like one or two things that you could point out that you really like, that's enough. And once you get to know him, if his personality is good, if his man is good, you know, if all of that is good, everything can still fall into place. He doesn't have to be a 10 physically to be a 10 as a husband, you know what I'm saying? Don't close off your options, because that is the worst thing you could ever do. You may think you don't like Arab guys, but you might like that Arab guy, or you may think you don't like black guys, but you might like that black guy. And honestly, you know, I'm not gonna get into the race factor and how I think some of people's types can be slightly racist. There's nothing wrong with having a type, but if you say, I only want this race, and you know what I'm saying, that can fall into some really terrible things, is what I'm saying. So don't be too stubborn. You can like what you like, but you should be able to come out of your comfort zone every once in a while just to see what's out there, you know what I'm saying? So I really hope this video was helpful. It was so hard to get finished because my battery was dying. It died like 3 times, and I filled the second part of this video so many times. But yeah, it was dying, and then not only that, my memory card got full, so I had to empty it and then come back after I recharged my battery, so that was nuts. But I really hope that you guys enjoy this video, and if you appreciate my effort, please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know if you have any marriage questions, because I will be doing more marriage videos since I know a lot of you need them as Muslim girls looking for a man. So if you need help, just let me know. I think my next marriage video will be on how to, you know, deal with sitting down with a person and what you go through and what I went through. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Assalamu alaikum, bye bye, and peace out.